Can you
Yo,
hear me this time?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can indeed. I will just let you know as well that what I do with these is I click record and then just let it go. So
That's
I now
easy.
have on record your technical difficulties and just me howling at them. So
Oh, great, great,
there you go.
great.
That's 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 part of an outtake that I'll have.
Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you okay.
Hang on, I can't hear you. I just downloaded my
Oh,
PC, so give me a second and try to figure
no,
this
that's all
out. I
right.
don't know what's going on. Ay, ay, ay.
This is the best software I found
Cannot
for
start video.
interviews.
Failed to start video. Why? Why? Why are you being a punk ass? I can't hear you, so I don't know what's
You
happening.
can't hear
Give
me
me
at all.
figure this out.
Is my sound on?
Dun 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 dun.
It's a good
I can't
start.
even do my camera. All right, let me bounce and I'll be right back. That's exciting. I can't wait for that to go on
Me
the
neither.
internet.
Me neither. How are you though? You okay?
I am great, man. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm good. I'm good. I really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, my first
Um,
question is, did you get Lord?
I did good, Lord.
Okay,
I
good. I was about
stayed
to
I
log
stayed
off.
up I stayed up till maybe about 5 a.m. last night, just grinding
Damn.
the absolute stuff out of it. So what I'll
That's
do, what I'll do,
amazing.
what I'll do is when I edit this video, I will put my Lord icon here. Yeah, there we go. There you go.
Great.
See, this is the
Awesome.
pauses there. That was the rules. No Lord, no conversation. So
That's right.
I
That's
stuck to my
right.
word. I stuck to my
I
word.
I literally had my finger hovering over the leave call here.
Just never again. Blocked everything.
That's so funny. Yeah, dude, I was Lord on Namor from season 0 on my Xbox, and I just got a PC on April 1st. And I didn't carry anything over. It doesn't carry
Oh,
stuff over. So I lost my Lord. I lost all my skins. I'm starting from
oh
scratch.
man, that sucks.
I think my rank is like clay. Like what's the bottom? Bronze?
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Oh, that's it. Bye.
Tell them. I told when I interviewed Elia, I explained that I was a Grandmaster 2 Bucky, so I am rather
Wow.
talented as Bucky, but obviously recently I've picked up Namor.
Good.
Um, his kit is amazing.
Dude, are you excited for the
It
Hulk
is so
team
good.
up?
The Gamma Squid looks absolutely fantastic. It looks brilliant because the fact that the damage just keeps going and it's more than the
hmm
than the Ice Squid is brilliant. I'm gonna
I'm
avoid.
really nervous that he's gonna get banned in every single match. It's gonna be impossible.
But he was getting banned already, wasn't he?
Well, Luna was, yeah, one of the two was getting banned, but now it's
Mm.
going to be just, I don't think I'll be able to play him. Plus, he gets banned on gold now, so that's going to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
rough.
I mean, people ban Bruce a lot as well.
Yeah.
I noticed the Hulk getting banned because obviously he's a massive dive and he's just a pain to kill. So that'll be fun, seeing how. But they might balance people, or obviously with the new characters like Emma Frost and Ultron, they might be stupidly powerful, and then people ban
That's
them
what
instead.
I'm literally hoping that they're just so strong that they get banned and I get to play with the
Namor
Hulk.
gets to hide.
Otherwise,
So,
yeah.
I mean, we'll dive straight into the first question then.
Yeah.
With Namor's kit, what's your favorite part? What's the favorite part to play with when you're using Namor?
Uh, I mean, I think the it's funny because I use the turrets in a very different way than most people. People are always like, every time I play, they're like, throw it up on top, throw it up high. And the way I like to do it is because I play Namor like a tank. Like I literally
Mm.
go in head first. I'm not scared of anything. I don't care if I die. But what I'll do is I'll start shooting somebody from the front and then I'll just toss the turret behind them. So
Oh,
then it's shooting them from the back and I'm shooting them from the front and they got to pick. It's me or the squid. And so if they turn, I'll get them with a headshot in the
boom.
back. And if not, my squid's doing all the damage for me, especially if it's like Strange or something with their shield.
Yep. Yep.
So I don't waste time. If I can, I'll put it up top. But if I'm in the middle of a battle, I don't waste time like turning and
You're not gonna
putting it
look
up
and put it
there.
on a little corner or something.
Yeah, I just throw it behind them and then have some like, maybe triple action if I can do both.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my strategy and that's what I like doing.
See, that
But
sounds that sounds really powerful though. Like if people are just chucking it behind, that would confuse tanks and make them have to
yeah,
engage with the squid instead. And then, I mean, with the new Gamma one, that's going to be even more of a pain because
that's
it's
gonna be
just it's
cool.
a
Yeah,
beam constantly at them.
that one I saw that like the beam goes across the map. I mean, it's crazy like
The range on
how
that is
so
dumb.
maybe that one I can just like in the beginning just pop it up top as high as I can and run away.
Use the bubble to fly upwards and then just pop it somewhere on like a
Oh, that's
tower
so
or something.
smart. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Gosh,
like that.
I can't wait
It's
to
gonna be
play it.
fun to play around with it. I like the fact that they're doing new team ups. Like a lot of people are upset. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
obviously upset about the Bucky and Rocket one going. But then we get Bucky and Cap, and I think that's nice. But the Ice Squid to the Gamma Squid, I think is an upgrade.
it's hard because like, when I first read the lines, I went in for a recording, I think sometime in January or February. I want to say right in between both of them. And, I had the lines with the thing and I was like, "Wait, what is this about?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're changing the team up between Luna and Namor and moving." I was like, "Why? Why would you do Luna?" I was so upset. And then the more and more I think about it, the more it's like, this makes a lot of sense. In the
Mm.
comics, Namor was the one that, defended Hulk from getting sent to space. Um, and so they are friendly. They do have a relationship. I have
Yeah,
a book that is all about Submariner and Hulk, just like all their, a bunch of their comics together. So they do have a relationship. I think it's also it's one of these things where like they know what they're doing because they keep things fresh.
mm.
It'd be one thing if they just kept it and sure that works, but it becomes stagnant,
Yeah, yeah,
and I think right now the game is so new that the moment it becomes stagnant, especially with everybody playing it all day, every
yeah. I
day.
mean, you click quick match and you're just in.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to wait. There's no lobbies or anything. It's just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right. Log on, click quick play, boom, straight in it. It's brilliant.
Yeah. I think they're, preventing burnout
Mm.
real fast. The amount of like I've seen so many videos on, all the social medias of like people getting so excited about the season 2 updates and
It's
it
nice to
it
see. It's
yeah.
really nice to see, especially for a game. I mean, what the first month was it? Was it 200 million or something stupid like that?
Well, the
Like two
first
million or something?
they
They've
had
had
40
so
they had
many.
40 million within 2
That's
days.
it. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah, and then now I think they're like at 65 million, which
it's mad.
is
It's mad.
insane.
Like,
I mean, my
conf
social medias alone have exploded and like I started streaming the game on day 1 when
mm.
it came out and I had 8 followers on Twitch. Now I have like 3,500. My TikTok I had 80 followers. Now I'm at 22,000.
Well, that one video you did, it's got a million views now.
1.3 million. Yeah, that's
Look at that,
nuts.
1.3 million people have watched that video and gone, yeah, man, that's awesome.
It's bonkers. It's such a crazy, crazy ride. I'm like having
Yeah,
so much fun with it. I love playing the game. So anytime that I can engage with fans, I'm like, I'm a fan. So it's like I get
and I
to,
think that's great.
yeah.
I think that's brilliant. The fact that you're a fan of the game, and obviously, as you just mentioned with the Illuminati, with the nine Hulk going to space thing, a fan of the comics, which I think is so brilliant when you're taking on a character that has so much history behind him. I mean, Submarine's been around since like comic books,
He's
really.
the second the
He's
second heroes.
yeah.
Cap, him, and I can't remember who the third one is.
Was it the original Human Torch?
No, no, but Human Torch was the one that rescued Namor to come
Mm,
back. So there was a moment where Namor lost his memory, and he was like living among humans. He was like a deadbeat in a bar, like had a full beard and whatnot, and these raggedy clothes. And Torch found him in a bar, and he's like, "Let me use my fingers," and he burned off his beard
yeah,
and his hair, and he
yeah.
sees his ears. He goes, "It is him." And then he threw him into the water, and as soon as he touches the ocean, he becomes Namor again.
Which I think is amazing.
So
Like
cool. And
it's
then,
so awesome.
but it's so funny because he goes down and he's like, he sees Atlantis and it's all, destroyed. I almost cussed on your thing. It's all
Right, man.
destroyed. And then he's like, these damn humans. And he goes back up and he actually is the first time he uses the trumpet horn and summons
Mm.
Giganto. And then he comes and destroys the
Because we,
city.
we 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 spoke about that the other day, didn't we? Because I sent you the comic panel with the Human Torch shaving off the beard with the
Oh, you
as
did? Oh,
flame, and we
yeah.
spoke
I
about
mean,
it.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's just fascinating. Like,
Mm.
and I been talking about like fandom and stuff. Like, I didn't know that much about Namor when I got the part. And then as I've been progressing, like I've been reading more and more. I become more of a fan. I also like want to be able to talk to fans about it. So it's like if they came up to me and said, "Hey, you remember that time when Human Torch did this?" I'd be like, "I've never read it." That's a bummer. So I kind of started reading some comics so that I would be able to engage with fans. But now I'm like invested and I love it, and I think he's so badass. And
He
yeah,
is cool. He is cool. I think as well, it's really nice to see the fact that you've just embodied Namor as well. I mean, you've got the staff in the background of the video.
yeah. I got the staff. I got a stack of comics. I got my little Funko Pops.
Is that a
Like,
statue of him back there? Or am I?
yeah, yeah. Let me grab
Yeah,
this real fast.
that's cool.
This was given to me
Oh, that is
by some
awesome.
guys, Chris and John, I believe are their
I
names.
like
But
that.
it's so cool, and
That
it
is
has like the
awesome.
Marvel Rivals stand. Oh,
I
it's
like
so
that.
rad.
That is
Now I
awesome.
gotta paint it,
Yeah, yeah.
but
I
yeah,
like that. That's a cool statue to have.
it's super cool. I mean, I'm all about like the collector stuff, so having any of this like Namor's on my desktop background, like he's on my coffee mug,
I know I saw
like
the mug. I love that mug's brilliant. I love that.
it's just, it's such a fun character to have. At least I'm not like, that noodle Reed Richards.
See now, see I'm in a
Which,
bit of a ooh.
yeah, and I also saw that you interviewed Ian,
Yeah, no,
before
I'm
me.
sorry,
That's
man. I'm
cool.
sorry, man. He answered first.
Wow. Same thing. Like I met Jordan on TikTok. Somebody tagged him in my comments, was like, "Hey, he also is on TikTok." So I messaged him and we became really good friends.
The
He
donut
introduced me
video.
to Yeah, yeah, with the donut video. He introduced me to
That's so
Elia and we all became like good friends. Like I think we have like a little group chat and we're always,
see, I love that.
literally every day we talk. And Alpha too, who's Psylocke, like we are just creating this little bond because I feel like we're all like-minded people. We're all
Mm.
like, trying to spread positivity and enjoy things without crumbling,
Yeah,
in like
yeah.
all the awful things that are happening around us and whatnot. So it's kind of neat. It's like I found a little like family of mutants and heroes and stuff. It's pretty cool.
See, is that's so nice to me. Like the community between you guys as well as the fans. Like I think
Hmm.
that's lovely to see. Like you see the the bonds you guys have. I mean, that signing that you did a few days ago, it was lovely seeing in the background when they were just looking at comments, you guys just talking, and I don't think anyone was really just sat there like on their phone or something. Like everyone was interacting with each other, and it was just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's nice to see when you've got a game that is a majority. It's all about the community. I think Marvel Rivals community is massive, and everyone's joining in and stuff. And I mean, like you hop in someone's stream and someone says hi, and everyone says hi, and it's friendly, it's inclusive, everyone's welcoming. I haven't met anyone negative yet,
I
touch
haven't
wood,
either,
but I
thankfully.
haven't met anyone that's horrible. And it's lovely to see, and it's nice to see that with the voice actors and the team that's involved in making the game, as well as the fans. Like it's a lovely dynamic, and the fact that you guys speak to the fans, and when you meet fans, it's every fan looks happy. And it's I mean the staff itself. Do you know what I mean? Like someone's made you that
That's
staff, and it's lovely.
It's so amazing. I mean, yeah, the fact that people are reaching out and being like, "Hey, I made something for you. Can I send it to you?" Like it's such an incredible thing, and yeah, we get to meet these fans at these signings and stuff, and like somebody gave me these bracelets,
I saw the friendship bracelets.
and
Yeah,
they're amazing. It says like, "I love Sue, I hate Reed." It's so amazing to me. But like even the jokes that I make on my stream and stuff are
mm,
like starting to take sort of like this shape. And like I've never met Ian. I'm sure he is the most lovely human. He seems very lovely from all the
he is very
interviews.
nice. He's very nice.
And I'm like terrified to meet him because of the amount of jokes I've made against Reed. But I'm sure I'm actually meeting him this Saturday, so we'll see what
That'd be
happens.
nice. That'd be
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, when I spoke to Ian, I was really nervous, as I am every time I speak to one of you guys, yeah, as normal, um, because obviously, like you all you guys, are these you voice actors, it's like the breaking that barrier in a sense, which I think with you guys doing this content and reaching out to fans and stuff, kind of breaks that barrier a bit. It makes it a bit more of a blurred kind of, it's not
Yeah,
so
yeah.
serious when I spoke to Ian, I was really nervous. When I spoke to Elia, when I spoke to Eric, everyone, including you. Don't worry. My biggest nerve was getting to Lord. I won't lie, because that's like
Really?
15 hours worth of playing. I was like, I've got to get to Lord. There was things where I was like, right, Cam, I'm going to play this much. I'm going to do this, and I didn't do any of these like Lord lobbies that I've noticed is a thing. I did
Oh,
it
really?
authentically. I did it properly. I played every game.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
threw as many squids out as I could, little monstros. I was like, just get out there. But honestly, speaking to you guys, it's so common because as soon as you start speaking, it's like it just goes. Like it's brilliant. It's really nice. It's comforting, and this is what I was saying
There's
about the
something,
welcomeness and stuff.
yeah, there's something, neat about it. Like, I've said this a million times before. I personally am a fan first, and so I like to become accessible to people. I like to be, I'm a normal person with a family, and like if I was on the receiving end of like a game that I love and I get to interact with the people and they're just normal people, then it becomes just more fun for us,
Yeah.
and like I think, and it's also super fun for me. Like I'm really enjoying, the explosion in my social medias and the interaction with fans. And like sometimes I feel bad because I can't interact with everybody. And like I have, I think 300 DMs that I just can't get to. So sometimes I feel guilty and bad. There's also like, certain things that, I can't do, but I'm enjoying it. And as far as I know, the others are also in the same boat. We're all just really enjoying this awesome ride of something that none of us expected. So I think it's
Mm.
super cool. And these guys, I mean, half the cast. The other day we were doing when we did that video that has 1.3 million, everybody did their ults, and I was sitting next to them, and I'm like, oh my goodness, these guys are so good, you know.
It
So
is, yeah,
like,
just hopping into the characters is brilliant.
yeah, man. This the
Yeah.
video with Alpha doing Psylocke voice. She goes like,
Mm.
"Hi, I'm Alpha Takahashi, and I do Psylocke," and I was like,
Yeah, you can see your face in that video, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like this is the moment that I'll put it here.
Hi everybody, my name is Alpha Takahashi and I'm the voice of Psylocke in my revivals.
Yeah, 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 right
And it's
there.
just and it's the look you do, and then it's a bit where at the end she obviously does the alt line, which I will not try and replicate because I can't.
That was nice. You're
Yeah.
actually a lot nicer than I thought you'd be. I thought you'd be really scary. Protect your king.
So
And
great.
oh, it's watching people just jump in and out the characters. It's fantastic. And honestly, on that video, I laugh every time when
It's
obviously your alt line. It's just
yeah. That's so funny. It's so funny. People keep asking me like, what outline would you like to do? And I have one, but I think that the horn is just so silly and fun.
it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's the right level of goofy. Out of interest though, with that alt line, what is it?
It would be sleep with the fishes.
I like that. See, I
You know,
like that. That's nice and quick and easy, and it fit with the, because they
yeah,
they literally they lie down. They're knocked out. They're
I'm
sleeping
literally
with the
killing them.
fishes.
Yeah,
So
that's
now the
right.
question is though, is obviously with the alt lines, there's two versions. You have the enemy team and then your allies. So if sleeping with the fish is what the enemy would hear,
Ooh,
what allies hear?
what do allies here? Oh man, I've never thought of that one. That's a good one.
Because I'll give you I'll give you what
Yeah,
I
please.
think would be because obviously the idea is with Namor's ult is it's like a support ult or it's like finishing them off. So I'd say something like because obviously he's a king, he controls an army, so it would be very much something along the lines of like I'm not going to try and do an impression.
Do it, do it, do it. You have to.
I can't. Oh gosh. Okay. This is going to be very bad if I mess this up. It'd be something like go forth and attack.
Okay, I like
Yeah,
that.
the impression of the
Yeah,
line.
yeah.
Don't answer that one. But
That
so,
was great. That was great. You were great.
if you've got sleeping with the fishes or go sleep with the fishes, and then what would your ally line be?
How about Higanto clears the way?
Oh, see, that's perfect. That's much better than mine.
A little wipeout. Yeah.
I like that
He,
because he does. He clears the way. Boom,
yeah.
comes out of nowhere. I love it. It's such a fun ult because a lot of the time when I speak about the characters, I speak about how like they're somewhat realistic. And I love the fact that Namor can be in like a Hydra base and then he just
It's
comes out
so
of nowhere. It's like, wait, what?
it's so absurd. There's
But it's
a whale
brilliant.
just flying out of the sky with four legs too. I mean, the whole thing is absurd, but
It's
it's true
brilliant.
to lore. Like that's
Yeah,
what I think is, in going back to like the developers of this game, they are so it's I think the game is what it is because the developers love comics.
yeah.
And
And
so
you can
you can
see that.
feel that. You can see it, you can feel it. You know that the things that they're doing are lore accurate, make sense. And if you don't know about the lore, it's still really cool. It's still rad. Like
Yeah, yeah,
so many more
yeah.
people are discovering new characters, things about the characters they didn't know. I didn't know who Luna Snow was. I didn't know who Squirrel Girl was. Like there's a lot of characters that we were exposed to because of this game that now are just like in the ether and we all
Yeah,
talk
and they're
about
just
them.
very, very popular now. I mean, obviously, I knew about Namor reading Fantastic Four comics. because I mean I feel like this is when you should go end it. Obviously, I'm a Fantastic Four fan.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Through
Toot, 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 toot. Sorry, I hung up on you.
you know, through and through. So I've seen Namor. I love the Illuminati as a team. So obviously Namor's been in that, and I've always been intrigued with Namor. But obviously, as collecting goes, when you start collecting the comic series, getting to another comic series is very difficult because he's got a history. And obviously, he
Yeah.
shows up in Fantastic Four comics. But I found the other day. I found see, I can't remember the name of it now, but I picked up a Submariner comic, which is one of like the best starting point for Namor on
Hmm.
the internet. I picked that up, and I read it, and it's so brilliant seeing him in like a solo run in a sense. But then in this comic, like he confronts Doom, he meets with obviously Wolverine and the X-Men, because obviously Namor was a member of the X-Men and stuff like this.
Yeah.
So he has this history, and you read it and you're like, well, Doom's here and Namor and Doom working together, and it's brilliant because he's such a strong character on his own. And I think that what makes it brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's really cool and also very lucky for me because Namor being a part of so many different superhero groups, like Avengers, X-Men, Illuminati, like the Phoenix Force, like
Yeah.
he just has a bunch of different worlds that he can be in, and it benefits me personally as an actor because, for example, I got invited to WonderCon last
Mm,
weekend, and I got to be on an X-Men panel, and that was very cool because I am an X-Men, and I think like the fact that Namor is, I think I want to say the only, if not one of like two water superheroes, that makes
mm.
him on the Marvel side,
Yeah.
that makes him someone that everybody needs. Everybody's gonna need somebody who can work in the ocean. So it's cool because yeah, he gets to be in very different types of comics all the time and that kind of stuff. And I think it's neat. Um, and he's like a solo. It's funny because like for example, I play soccer my whole life. I've been a
Mm,
goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper is this guy who's like part of the team, but he's separated from the team. He's even wearing a different uniform than the team, and he has like a good vision of everything going around him. But at the end of the day, he's standing alone for most of the time
mm,
and steps up when he's needed. And I think it's the same thing with like Namor. He's the guy that is like part of the team, watching from aside on his own, and then comes in, kicks ass, and then that's it. Like I think that's pretty cool. So like in terms of identifying with the character, I think that's exactly what I see him as. He's like the guy who like gets called in when we need him, and then he goes back into his ocean by himself because he lost his wives, his queens, and his people. Like it's yeah. I think it's really cool that he has so many options for comics. And then there was
mm.
that one comic, thing that made him kind of look like a monster, and I get yelled at on the internet about that all the time. But in my opinion, that was like not the best comic strip.
You know what? Do you know what? Every character has had a comic strip. That's a bit. Mm. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I hate to do it, but speaking about Mr. Fantastic, just make sure you're not going to hang up. Civil War. He was written quite poorly in Civil War. That's my opinion. Obviously people can come at me, but it it's that they've got so many years of history behind them, and they've got decades and decades of lore and so many stories about them that there's going to be a bad one. There's going to be one which makes them
Yeah.
look bad. And I think what's brilliant about Namor is he's one of these kind of gray characters where, he's a hero, but he can be a villain, and
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
can be a bit both, and he plays both sides. And I think that's brilliant about him as well, because again, like you said, all these teams that you can put him in, he can hop back and forth between his his morals, in my opinion, are his kingdom. That's what
That's
he
right.
cares about. He cares about
Yeah.
his kingdom. He does everything not for himself, but for his people because he loves his kingdom, like I said.
Totally. And if you're in the way of that,
Mm,
he will be a villain to you and he will destroy you. But
yeah,
if you have the same objective for that moment, he will be your closest ally. And that it's true. Like and people always like, well, is he a villain? I think he's a villain by necessity, right?
mm,
He's all he wants is a queen by his side, and he wants to rule over his people peacefully. And humans and other, he keep destroying it. And it's like his wives have all died, his girlfriend's died. He had to kill his son. Like he's
yeah,
forced into these situations where he doesn't. There's nothing he can do other than fight back.
Yeah.
And so, he even has lines in the game. He's like the only thing he stands for is his beliefs. And that's,
Yes.
eh, some maybe we should learn a little bit about that. I don't know. Like there's
Take a
some
bit from Namor.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
No matter what you get like handed to, no matter how much you get knocked down, just keep believing in what you believe in and keep going for
Yeah.
that. Keep protecting this kingdom. There you go.
Totally. And it's one
There
of
we
these things
go.
like I think we would all do that. We would all if our
Mm,
family was in danger, we would do whatever it takes. And
100%.
that's his family is his world, like right? That's so that
And obviously, his love for Susan Storm.
Susan. Oh, Susan.
Which is obviously like that's his thing. And I love the fact that it's referenced so much in Marvel Rivals too, with the voice lines, where it's I think even the Thing mentions something now. Like I heard it the other day when I was playing.
Yeah,
The Thing
yeah.
even says, he's like, don't Namor's like, don't worry, I'll stay away from you. He's like, it's not me I'm worried about. And it's such a brilliant line because Namor and Susan has always been a thing throughout comics. Like it's always been like, oh, Namor, he's a king, he's got
Mhm.
this. And then you hear the voice lines of Marvel Rivals, and she's like, Namor's like, come and join me by my side. And then she's like, well, you try and conquer the world in a day, and Reed saves it much many times. And it's
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
it's these little lines, and I think it's brilliant because, like you said, it's this accessibility with the characters where if you don't know anything about the characters, you can pick up bits and bobs which I've never said bits and bobs on an interview
Bits and
before.
bobs.
Bits and bobs. It's very the bits and bobs.
So funny.
But yeah, so with the with those voice lines, you can kind of understand, okay, Namor clearly wants Susan. And there's this deflection from Susan where she's like, because he's like, Susan Storm, and she's like, Richards, you know this. And it's brilliant because he wants Susan to be his queen,
Yeah.
and that's being a constant, I mean, I started with the 90s cartoon. And obviously, one of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first episodes, Namor's coming in. He's grabbing Sue. He's like, "Come on, come be my queen." And it's brilliant. And again, reverting back to what I was on about because I digress majorly. Then,
Oh, same, same.
with the accessibility of learning new characters, like you said with Luna Snow and stuff, you've got this introduction to them. And it's if you want to look into them, you want to pick up the media with them, you can. And I think that's brilliant because, like you said, with Namor, when you first landed it, and then you started fleshing out your knowledge about the character, it's
Yeah.
it's available to everybody, and I think that's the beauty of the comic book world. Like everyone can kind of go for it.
Yeah, like you can go to a comic book store now
Hmm.
and pick up any number of comics from dollars, $1 comic to $50 comic. And there's like it's accessible to anybody, or you can download the app, the Marvel app, and
Yep,
like get them
Marvel
all there.
Unlimited.
Like
There you go.
yeah, there's now it's like anybody can just find out more about it if you
Yeah.
want, or watch videos because like my social media is entirely Marvel Rivals related. Like everything is Marvel Rivals, and I feel like there's like a nice revival of the comic book world.
Mm,
And with the movie coming out, like there's a lot of stuff that are just like keeping us engaged with this world, and I think it's actually pretty cool.
yeah, 100%. It is really interesting. Obviously, with the Marvel Rivals comic that's come out as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That came
Which
out
yeah,
like a few days ago. Yeah.
yeah, which is brilliant. I mean, because it started as digital, and I think there was that much of a demand for it. They went, right, we're going to make it physical. We're going to make this a bit more accessible for people. Go into your comic book store, support your local comic stores, get a single, and it just having that and looking at it and reading about the characters in the game that you're playing. I think it's brilliant.
I have so me being a fan, I have my comic book that I got signed by the other cast members the other day. And this
That's
Saturday I'm
brilliant.
meeting a bunch more and I want them all to sign it. Like I'm a collector and I think it's
That is really
what
cool.
an opportunity to be able to,
100%.
yeah, be a part
100%.
of that.
And I love the fact that you guys are fans. I know I've said that, but the fact that you guys are fans of the other actors and stuff like that. So and it's just that back and forth where it's like, well, oh my gosh, this is you, and I voiced this character, you voiced this character, and we're in the same projects. And I think that's
Yeah.
a lovely unifying moment where you're all, you know, singing from the same hymn sheet in a sense. You're all from the Marvel universe now. You are all voices of these characters, and to some people, you're the first introduction of these characters to them.
Yeah, I'm extremely lucky too that like Namor didn't have much before me.
Mm,
And so Like if I always say this, like if I had booked a job of voicing Spidey, for example, I would have gotten crucified. People would have been like, "That's not my Spidey. I don't like him. He's not who I wanted." And or Iron Man or any of these other characters. And I got to be a guy that a lot of people didn't know, other than like from the MCU movie.
Yeah.
And so I got to sort of create a version of what I thought Namor was like, and now people associate that with. And I've had people be like, I could never hear this character with another voice, and I'm like, amazing.
Yeah,
That's like,
it's amazing. Yeah, it is brilliant. It's such like a big like it really shows you how much your portrayal means to people, and I think that's lovely. I
yeah.
think that's really
Real
nice.
quick, I'm really excited to meet Ian. I think he's an
Mm,
awesome actor. I'm a fan of his work. My kids love Dinosaur Train, which is a show that he voices the
Mr.
conductor on.
Conductor.
Yeah. And so
Yeah,
like I'm excited to meet him. As a human being, I'm excited to meet him. And I'm excited for the Fantastic Four movie to come out. I
yeah.
really can't wait to see it. So I
That's
just
that's
have to
not
joke
quoted.
about the I have to joke about the lore, but being a fan, I
Yeah,
love all that stuff.
you're
Anyway,
excited about the
yeah,
stuff coming up, but yeah, right. Well, I do want to quickly say I saw your mug a second ago, and I thought I'd just represent. I've got my own branded mug and
That's
and
amazing.
and branded t-shirt.
What? I don't have a t-shirt. I'm quitting. I'm out of here.
And as you know, as I'm British, this is a cup of tea.
I was just drinking tea actually, so
Yeah, big up the tea.
I love tea. I love tea. I do love coffee
Tea's
though,
good.
so anything in my mug, I'll take it.
Yeah, I like both. I like both. But yeah, let's talk about voice lines. Let's hop back to
Yeah.
voice lines. When voicing Namor, do you have a favorite? It doesn't have to be your own, but that'd be
Um,
good.
I'll tell you this. I think the line that gave me Namor's point of view, which I think is like just the best thing, was he goes, typical air breather. To him, air breathers are beneath him,
Mm,
and it was just such a gift to see that line because it just informed me who he is,
mm.
you know. Um, so that line is very special. Obviously, the "Oh, Susan, you wound me." It's a great one. Um, but I love like those who oppose me shall be left to drown in my wake.
I like
This
that one.
guy's like
That one's cool,
so
man.
powerful.
He's just
There,
he knows he can handle people as well.
oh yeah, there's a comic book. It's an Uncanny X-Men from 1963, I want to say. Um, anyway, Namor is fighting this guy, the Beekeeper, and I don't know how you could put this in the game, but it's amazing. He says, he goes, "Your arrogance sickens me, Beekeeper. Only Namor has the ability to make the earth move, and he reserves that privilege for one woman at a time, unless they have experimental friends." It's so good.
That's a good line. That's a funny line. I like that. I don't know how
Yeah.
they'd incorporate that
I
into the song.
don't either. Namor will make the earth move, one woman at a time. Emma, I
Yeah,
think
oh,
I
there
think
we
that's an
go.
Emma
Yeah,
Frost line. Yeah,
that's like a flirty Emma line, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
And then Emma
And
would
actually,
reply with something flirty as well. She'd
yeah,
throw a
she's
bit out.
super flirty. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's actually in that comic strip I just read.
Oh,
It's him and Emma and some of the X-Men. I think Wolverine is in there and whatnot, but
see,
definitely,
there you go. If Emma's there, come on, Natisse, put that line in the game.
let's do it. It's time. It's
It's time for
time.
Namor to get his freak on.
I'm gonna get fired one day. I just read a comic book that
It
exists.
was
I
a
didn't
comic
make it
book
up.
that is in the history, of course.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
using the materials that are given to you
yeah.
to flesh out the character in any means possible. Obviously, the dynamic, like we spoke before with Mr. Fantastic, Susan, and Namor, the voice lines between them are brilliant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's super fun. I also like the interactions with Jeff.
Mm.
Come with me, little one. Together we can rule the
Yeah,
world.
he's fascinated by Jeff, and it's lovely.
It's so great. I
He's
love
so
them.
cute, and he's like, he calls him like a special one or a unique one because he's
Yeah,
never
he's
seen someone like him before.
yeah, 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 yeah. You are a different one. What does
Mm.
he say? Yeah. Something along those lines. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's something like he's fascinated by Jeff because he's never seen something like him. But then my thought process goes to Gargantua because he looks a bit like Jeff with the four
Giganto has the four legs.
Giganto. There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Well, you can call it Giganto, yeah. Yeah, he's got his four legs. but I don't know if he actually comes out and walks on the surface. I think he just like bombards it. But
We love Jeff.
yeah, yeah, Jeff is amazing.
Jeff is great. I wanted to see we had the team up with Luna, Jeff, and Namor. See that's the quick question as well. So I call him Namor. So that's obviously, and I've obviously heard you call him Namor.
Both.
It's,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong. I always say that it's like I'm Daniel in English, Daniel in Spanish, and if
Mm,
you're saying it in one of the other languages, I'm never gonna look at you and be like, "Sorry, my name is Daniel. You called me Daniel."
I'm glad because I
You
called you
know,
Daniel.
but I would never be like, "Hey, yeah, my name is Daniel." Don't
Mm,
call me Daniel. So I think it's just a matter of what language you're saying it in.
mm.
It's like I say Namor or Namor depending on the context of what I'm saying. If I'm referring to him as himself, I say Namor. But if we're talking about him, if like, oh, Reed says this to Namor, I say
Okay, see, I like that. So there's no right way of saying it.
Right. It's just
In a
as long as
sense.
you're
Yeah.
saying it,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying it.
I'm saying it.
Yeah.
I'm saying Namor. I might
You can
change
also
it to
call him
Namor.
King if you want, better than
Your
Reed, all
Highness.
anything. Yeah.
But yeah, with obviously with the game itself, you have these relationships that we've touched upon. Is there any character that Namor hasn't spoken to that you think you'd like to have a voice line with, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I don't know that I can't remember if he talks to Scarlet Witch or Psylocke. I don't remember if there are interactions with them. But I
I
would
don't
love to
think
see them.
so.
I'd love to
I don't
see them
think so.
because I remember, and I've mentioned this before a lot in my own videos and stuff, but Namor's first interaction with Scarlet Witch is the first appearance in the X-Men. And and Magneto tries to recruit him to come to that side, and so Namor's like, "Yeah, I'll work with you to take over the world, whatever." And then Magneto disses Scarlet Witch in front of Namor,
Oh.
and he's like, "I will not ally myself with someone who speaks to a woman that way." And like then destroys all of Magneto's stuff and like goes back into the ocean. But um, he also in another comic says to Scarlet Witch, he goes, "You are the most beautiful woman I have seen since Susan Storm."
Again with the Susan supremacy.
Yeah, I mean he says that to Emma in one of the game. Like it's crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think those kind of interactions are fun. Um, I don't think he has anything with Psylocke that I can remember, and I wish there was. And then the others, if he interacts, cool. But those are the two that I wish like
Yeah.
there was something a little better. I don't know.
Like in
Maybe
a
there
little
will
back
be.
and forth. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
Psylocke obviously she calls everyone a yokai,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which I love, and people have done compilations of she's called everyone a yokai, which is
Half
I
of
think
my
yeah,
half of the comments on my videos are, "You must be a yokai." I'm like, son of a gun. Yes.
you know exactly where that's from.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's I remember reading in a comic Namor he flirts with Psylocke and he hits on her and she immediately shuts him down. And
See
it's like, well,
that would be
moving
funny.
on.
That would be brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, like he proper puts the charm on, and she just goes no,
No.
or just
No,
even
no.
just no, or don't go there, or something. Just
Yeah,
really
yeah,
just shuts
yeah.
it, and he's just like oh.
Yeah, Namor. Ah, yeah, yeah.
Something
It's
like that,
fun.
yeah. Just a little, just because obviously, he's a respected king. He's got
Yeah,
power, he's
yeah.
got all this, and his ego is, he's got an ego. He flirts with everyone, kind of thing. He's, you know,
Yeah. And
as I
Psylocke
as I
is a
said,
baddie, man. I mean,
yeah, yeah, and
especially in this game. All the girls in the game are so beautiful.
that's on record now. No, you know what? Talk about the designs. Namor's design in the game is brilliant, and I love the inclusion of more of like a royal getup, which is the
Mhm.
skin that I like using with the sovereign crown.
The one that was in
Um,
the battle pass?
yeah, and he's got the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
shoulder thing, and he's got his shoes on, which is good, because I can't
Which is
imagine the kind of stuff that Pete picks up on his feet.
right. It's funny because when I switched over from console to PC, I wanted to keep my gamer tag on my PC. And so in order to do that, I had to change my gamer tag on my
Mm.
console, and I picked Mr. Wetfeet as my console name.
And the worst thing is we're never going to see that in game.
We're never gonna see it in game.
Mr. Wet Feet will never make an appearance.
Mr. Wet Feet.
That's it. Namor is now Namor, Mr. Wet Feet.
Yeah, Mr. Wet Feet. That's his feet
Just
walking.
slapping across the floor. That's why he hovers so much, because he's like, I don't want people to realize my feet.
Yeah.
I
Have you seen?
go
Oh,
on.
his hands are like like this is like the size of his hands
Yeah.
compared to his head in the game. His
Yeah,
feet
he-
are also probably just ginormous.
The proportions in the game do make me giggle. I mean, the bombastic Bagman skin for Spider-Man, his feet are gigantic. They're so big and they're distracting. Like you're just like, wow, okay. So speaking about the character models and with Namor and his skin stuff, is there a skin that you'd want? Obviously, we've got the X-Men one coming up, which, as I know,
That looks
you're also
awesome.
excited for.
Yeah.
Is there a skin that you'd want?
I mean, I think there's a lot of them that I like. Like I would love to see a like some sort of Phoenix Force skin. That sounds really weird.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Phoenix Force skin. There we go. I'd love to see and I think there's one in Uncanny X-Men where it's like a black sort of bodysuit that's sort of open in the center. That's pretty cool. I'd love to see him in a tuxedo, like, or sometimes he
Yeah.
wears a suit when he's like a civilian-ish. He's wearing a black suit. I think that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some comics where he's wearing like a red Speedo, like a red swimsuit, which would be
Yeah.
kind of interesting and different. Uh, and I don't know, I kind of want to see them create something, just like the original, like in the game, his original skin is a unique interpretation.
Yes.
I'd love to see something else where they come up with something cool that is like different that I haven't seen.
Yeah, like completely new and fresh and
Yeah.
fresh out the water. There we go.
Fresh to
There
water,
we
there you
go.
go.
There you go. Fresh out of the water. With maps. Yeah, I'm gonna slingshot to
Let's go.
maps
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So we spoke about skins with maps. And his kingdom.
Oh, I would love to
What a
see an
map that
Atlantis
would
map.
be. And you could
It'd be
have like the fish swim past and
Yeah.
it'd
So
be
like
so
when you look
cool.
up and you can see the sky in some of the maps. It'd be cool if like it's sort of like a glass dome and you can see fish swimming around it and like just water ripples.
It'd be so
I think it'd be
cool.
so neat.
It'd be so
So
cool.
neat.
And you could even have because he said about in the Hydra map, he says about the fact that he's already seen a Kraken and a Hydra. He's seen something more vast. Imagine just like a little Easter egg to that reference that he makes.
Right.
And just in like, I don't know, in one of the spawn rooms, because a lot of people in the spawn rooms, they don't turn around and they miss little bits and bobs in the background. I said bits and bobs again. That's it,
Bits bubs.
bits and bobs.
Bits bubs.
Bits and bobs. Like the Kraken, that'd be so cool just to see. Or
Yeah.
when the map starts to get to, the destructiveness of the maps is brilliant. Imagine if like you can just pierce like the dome and like water comes spurting
Water
down.
just start coming.
That'd be so
sick.
cool.
So sick.
Yeah, see, look, there you go.
All right,
Atlantis is
let's make
a
our own
Namor
game.
Yeah, just a Namor game. Let's make a solo Namor game.
Oh man, that'd be so cool. It'd be so cool if they ever did like an animated series of Marvel Rivals.
Did you ever see my comment out of interest? I commented, I believe, on Jordan's post, and I said about the fact that I would adore a Marvel Rivals animated show in the style of X-Men 97,
Yeah.
with obviously the original voice actors, and have just like a fleshed out story, or just like a short film or something, just something really
be-
just awesome.
Even if they did like a few episodes or even one episode to like bridge the seasons, kind of thing, put it on Disney Plus and like let it rip.
See?
I think it'd be awesome. I also saw recently, I don't know how true it is, that Marvel is considering putting animated characters in Doom.
Doomsday. Yeah.
Yeah, Doomsday. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
saw that.
so, I mean, could you imagine if they did like a multiverse where they rip into a new fabric and it's the Marvel Rivals
Marvel
characters
Rivals, yeah,
voiced
see,
by
that would be
us?
so cool because obviously the whole thing with Marvel Rivals is the entanglement. They've got all the different worlds coming together. That would fit in with the Marvel Rivals laws, surely. Having or just like a little glimpse, a little cameo.
Yeah.
Um,
Just
yeah,
Namor. At least Namor.
just put Namor in there. When
Namor in there.
Marvel, hey Marvel, hey
Marvel. Hey,
put
Marvel.
Namor in Doomsday.
Marvel, just please put me in there.
When
There,
I when I spoke to Ian, one thing I mentioned, I'll zoom over this because I know Mr. Fantastic can be a trigger. I'm very sorry. The Council of Reeds is obviously a big thing in the
Mhm.
Marvel comics with Mr. Fantastic. Imagine having yourself in, shoulders in your Marvel Rivals skin, with that inclusion in Doomsday. So even animated or even just a little cameo of the voice actors
Yeah.
in the get-up because we know Marvel can do it. We know Marvel
I
can do it.
mean, honestly, it's one of these things like the cast in that movie already is like 100.
Mm.
I don't even know how many are in there. There's so
There's gonna
many
be so
actors,
many
and they
characters.
said that they're not revealed all of them yet. That there's some still that haven't been revealed. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna spend time or energy on us, but it would be so cool. I mean,
It would be
it'd be a
really
good dream
cool.
come true.
Just like a little
Yeah.
reference, just a little something, or just even have Robert Downey Jr. as Doom, just holding,
Yeah.
like the
Oh yeah,
little.
yeah.
That would be just a little nod, just like
That'd be so
like
cool.
we
Yeah,
know it
yeah.
exists.
I
Because
also would love it if if Namor appeared in X-Men 97,
mm,
because he's an X-Men.
yeah,
He could just have a little recurring role in there.
well
X-Men 97 people, if you're
in
listening.
in was it the X-Men '97 show where they showed all the old shows as well? So you saw
Yeah, yeah.
the old Mr. Fantastic. Namor is obviously in that show. You could always have a cameo or something like that. I mean, if they do
Yeah.
another series and they could even open it up where they have these old characters returning because who doesn't want that?
I mean,
You know what I
honestly, I
mean?
feel like this game is so awesome and successful so far that there's a potential for any of these
Yeah.
things to happen. I obviously don't know anything and haven't heard anything
Mm.
official ever, but I think it'd be awesome. It'd
Well,
be a dream come true for sure.
we've got a comic book. That's a start. That's another piece of media that people can get a hold of. So I
Yeah,
think I think you know what, never say never. That's never
and
say
that
never.
comic book sold out. I mean, they're
Yeah,
doing a reprint, which is a different version of the cover.
which is mad.
Um, so it's crazy. I mean, and then they're doing another one that comes out, I think next week, another digital comic that might
Mm.
be moved into physical
It's
version
mind
soon.
blowing. The fact that there's so much like reception to these things is
Yeah, I feel
amazing.
quite
I
sorry for
mean,
them.
but yeah, obviously you're a fan with comics and stuff. You've mentioned the Uncanny X-Men. Is there a comic story of Nemours that you just love? Like if I said to you, recommend me a Namor comic, which one would you give me?
Man.
Mm,
Honestly, if I was gonna say pick one, it would be that first one, his first appearance in the X-Men, because his interactions with Scarlet and Magneto and all these guys, like it just kind of shows how powerful he is. It introduces you to his world a little bit, and then introduces to who he is as a person. How he stands for the right thing in his mind. He's about to become a villain by joining Magneto, and he doesn't necessarily go to the X-Men. He doesn't become like a good guy, but he's like, I'm not going to stand for this nonsense. I'm going to
yeah,
like, I thought this would be better.
yeah.
So I think that's a good one. I forget it. I think it's number 6, X-Men number 6. I think that's what it is. But
I'll have a nose. That's what I like. If you've got that introduction to the character, and it shows, like you just said, it shows him as a character,
yeah,
and the fact that he was going to be evil. Well, not evil. He's going to join the bad side, and then Magneto disrespects Scarlet Witch, and he's like, "No, I'm out.
yeah,
I'm gonna go. I'm
I'm
gonna
out.
go back in the water. I'm not gonna go and join the X-Men because they haven't asked me.
Right, right.
I'm going back to my kingdom. Gonna go back to what I believe in. And I think again, that's what you said earlier when he goes back to his belief system. I think that's just brilliant.
Yeah, and then also that the one I mentioned earlier with when Human Torch brings him back and puts him in
Mm,
the ocean. That's also a good one. I think that's one of the first few Fantastic Four comics. I think it was like maybe 4 or 7, one of the two numbers, I can't
mm.
remember. But that was also cool because it sort of like also introduces him in that world, like he's been through a lot, man. The poor guy,
Yes, yeah.
and Namor is like super misunderstood, really. Like everything he loves and wants is gets destroyed. He's just like, I want to
Or,
forget.
or it's already claimed.
It's already
Back to
son of
Susan.
a. Oh, Richard!
See, I'd love a quick little voice line where Namor just gets angry at Reed Richards. I think that'd just be funny. Or if actually I don't know if this actually is a voice line, but when like if Namor and Richards are on a team and Richards dies, something like Namor just goes like, "Huh, see, I told you we're never good enough for Sue" or something. Do you know what I mean?
Ha, you wet noodle. I always in my stream I always and whenever I'm playing and I stream and I run into a Richards, I always go, "Oh, Richards, why are you such a bitch?"
Read Bitches, am I right?
Read bitches. Yeah. I'm
See, it's
sorry, Ian.
right. So again, talking because I love the fact that you play the game. I think that's such a brilliant thing. And I love the fact obviously Eli's now playing the game and people are starting to the voice actors are starting to play the game. And it's lovely to see because it means that you guys obviously you love the thing you're a part of and it
Yeah.
brings a special kind of love to it. Like I think we appreciate it more seeing people enjoy the work the art they're in.
Hmm.
Um, is there a character that you'd like to see in Marvel Rivals?
I would love to voice Ghost Rider in the
Mm,
game, like the Robbie Reyes version. I think that'd be really fun if I could do two characters in one game. Um, I think it'd be really fun to have someone like Deadpool. I
Deadpool's a
think
big one that
it'd be
everyone
super
wants.
funny. It'd be just goofy. Everybody would love that. And then like, you hear Nightcrawler. That'd be really cool to get.
Nightcrawler would be cool.
I think Silver Surfer should come in at some point. A lot of like really cool, there's just so many to pick from. There's so
Mm.
many characters that you could get. Um, Anybody from X-Men would be awesome to have, like Gambit, Cyclops, any of these like
Jubilee
dudes
would
would
be
be so
awesome.
sick. Yeah.
I'd love Jubilee.
Um, Jubilee would be awesome. I mean,
Yeah,
there really is just such a range of characters that they can
there
bring in.
is thousands, hundreds of thousands of
I
characters.
think
And
there's 80,000 Marvel characters.
it's
That's
such
not
a
an
no,
exaggeration.
no, it's such a pantheon of just characters. I mean, you've got such bizarre characters as well. And I think they could
Yeah.
just have. I mean, obviously, talk about Deadpool. You've got like Hydra Agent Bob, which could just be put
Yeah.
in as just a Hydra agent and be
Yeah.
like a very much like black and white. This is just a soldier character.
Yeah, you're cool. You're right.
Yeah,
No,
like
no, but
whoa.
like that, there's just like a fountain of characters that they could bring in
Mm.
that you could be like, wow, that'd be really cool if they did it that way. Even like silly characters. I think there's a guy named Frogman or
Yeah,
Toad.
Frogman. Yeah,
Yeah,
Frogman.
Frogman.
Yeah,
Yeah, Frogman. Yeah, who's
Howard the
like
Duck. Howard the Duck would be funny.
Howard the Duck. Yeah. Honestly,
So many. There's so many. But
so many.
back to Robbie Reyes. So with Ghost Rider, I think that would be a really cool character to have in. Because I mean, you can already imagine the kind of moves that he'd have. You'd use his chains.
Yeah,
His
his fire chains.
ultimate would be the penance there. He'd have something to do with his bike at some point, maybe like a charge move. Like the thing has
Yeah,
the
yeah,
run.
yeah.
You could just have him hop on his bike and just. Do you know what I mean?
It'd be
It'd be fun.
Yeah, the ult could like he could jump on his bike and do like donuts around the people
Donuts
with
with the
fire,
chain and
with
he's
the chain.
spinning it and just big fire.
So
Yeah,
rad.
there we
Yeah.
go. See, look at this. I love this. But and again with like Deadpool and stuff, people are saying that he could grab like the UI. So he just grabs that and just beats you with it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
just think that'd be so funny.
See,
And
like this isn't like, the holy grail of games or anything,
mm,
but it's super enjoyable, and I think that's part of it, right? Like if you can take yourself not too seriously, then the other people are also gonna have fun.
yeah,
And
and
so
it makes it more enjoyable as an environment as
and
well.
I love
Because
it.
the stupidity and the fun that developers can have with it means that they can just access these really funny characters.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
they can just go for it. And I think the best thing is we've got well-known characters in the game. You've got your Iron Man, you've got your Captain America, you've got all these really well-known characters. Having these fun little characters that people can just have a bit of a laugh with, like Jeff. I mean, I remember when
Hmm.
Jeff was
Yeah.
first announced for the game, and I was like, Jeff, and he's just everyone takes him in the game as just the cutest boy. He's
Yeah.
he's the cute one. Everyone's like, oh, Jeff, and you kind of feel bad when you kill a Jeff.
He just has this like
Yeah, and then you see him and he just goes, "Oh
yeah.
no, Jeff!"
It's really funny. Yeah, Jeff was one
Yeah.
that when he got announced, everybody was like, "Why Jeff? Of all the characters you could have picked, why Jeff?" And now Jeff is like an icon.
Jeff is the face of Fun Marvel, right?
But he kind of is. He's like on every comic,
Yeah,
like all the covers. He's got the most merch, and it's just Jeff the Shark.
and
It's
the
great.
little song where he
Look
replicates
at
the
this.
theme. Oh, here we go. There we go. Look at that.
It's Jeff's little name tag.
It's his little. That's so cute. So that's so cute.
That's so funny that I even have this.
It's because of the team up, man.
Yeah,
It's a memento from the team up being lost.
Good, Jeff. I talked to John Bailey this weekend at the signing, and he said, I was like, he was telling us that this when he was recording lines, the scripts actually said this is what he's saying.
Oh, no way.
So like his intonation and like it's he's all really saying stuff in his head, but going like, there were like actual
There's
like
actually words on
he's
the
not just
page.
making random noises. Yeah, it's kind of fascinating.
No,
It's
I really like
fascinating.
that. I like the fact as well. You can even hear him when you can hear the tone he's saying
Yeah,
things
yeah.
in, and it's just. I mean, there's bits. I'm pretty sure there's with the voice lines between Namor and Jeff. He even replies in like a happy kind of like I'm
Yeah.
special. Look at me.
It's so great. It's so great.
It's lovely. Right. So we've covered like voice lines and comics and stuff. I was wondering.
Yeah.
Would you want to do a bit of comic action?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I have. I don't mean to show. I have the comic. There it
Whoa,
is.
that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
because I'm a collector, man. I'm cool. So obviously, have you got the screenshots?
Yeah, let me just grab it real fast.
Now
All right.
this is gonna be bad because I can't do an American accent.
Oh, you can. You can
I'll
be
try my best.
British,
I'll try
Reed
my best. I'll
Richards.
try my best. And people can have a laugh out of it.
Let's do it.
So we'll start it with and I smelled him. And I smelled him.
Hello, Richards. You're just in time. Your long-suffering wife was just this very moment enumerating your shortcomings as a father and husband.
And obviously Susan then says, "Of course I wasn't Reed. Don't listen to him. He's just trying to bait you." We don't have a Susan,
Yeah.
I know what he's trying to do, Sue. You don't have to act so worried or guilty. You know what Remora is, Namor? You must, being the amazing submariner, prince of the seven seas. So I'll explain for my wife's sake. Remora is a parasitic fish that cling to larger fish, sharks mostly, eating whatever scraps they leave behind. They are ugly, opportunist fish that, try as sharks might, can never be shaken loose. Hangers on, in other words, with no real lives of their own. Ring any bells, Namor?
Alas, no. Your heavy-handed use of metaphors eludes me. Is the idea that I'm a remora and you and Susan are sharks? Because if that's the case...
To tell you the truth more than anything, the idea was to distract you.
Oh, yes? From what?
From the fact I've redistributed 70% of my body's density into my right fist.
Listen to her, Richard. Oh, she says, you have nothing to prove. And then I say, listen to her, Richards. You truly don't want me humiliating you in front of your female.
And then obviously Susan goes, female? And then I will just show, the next page is just Reed smacking names.
How dare he? He broke his fist in that.
Yeah,
He broke his fist.
He went all limp. He was like, oh man. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry for my American accent. I think it changed from different cities about 3 times. But yeah, obviously I'm a massive comic book fan. And I've started to read more of the Submariner books, the solo arc. I know he has an amazing Marvel Knight story, which is that printing. But it's kind of like I think it's called The Depths, and it's his kind of it's a solo story, and it's apparently just so I think some submarine people come down and try to like excavate Atlantis.
It's called The Depths?
Yeah, The Depths. Check it out. Honestly, I've started reading it. It's amazing. And he defends his land, and it's just such a classic comic book story, if that makes sense. Like it's just very much, he's protecting his land. These people are invading, and then boom.
That's amazing.
But yeah, it's honestly it's brilliant.
I just remember something. I'm kind of upset with you because
oh no,
you didn't ask me to sing a song, and I saw you ask Alaya.
If you could put one song to your iteration of Bucky, or maybe a band or a genre of music, if you can name a song that comes straight to your head, what would it be? And then why? Okay. Okay. So, okay. It wasn't
I would.
a thing. So I will ask you the question, and we will edit that part out. I wouldn't. Sorry. With Namor,
Mhm.
um, as I asked with the liar, if you could attach any song to your iteration of Namor, what
Mhm.
would it be? And then why?
Okay. I think the why will be self-explanatory. Let me see
Mm.
this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. Second. I'm not very good, but this
That's
will do
okay.
the trick.
I
This will do the
appreciate the
trick.
effort. This is brilliant.
All right. He goes, "You can't see her because she's invisible. She's married to that noodle Reed, but I think that she likes me. And you don't know why, but you gotta try, then you gotta kiss the girl."
That was there you go. That was fantastic. Thank you. So
That's so dumb.
just to do
That's
like
so dumb.
why? That was fantastic. That was brilliant. I really that was good. And I love the fact that you prepared that.
You're welcome. You're
That is
welcome.
touching.
I wish I could. I wish I could had a better singing voice, but
No,
yeah.
that you know what? That was lovely.
I figured the Little
That was really
Mermaid.
soft.
She's invisible. I had, it says you got to try Trident. I don't know. It's just the dumbest thing I
That
could
was
think of.
brilliant. I mean, obviously, I referenced the Little Mermaid in my challenge when I put Under the Sea as
That's
the
right.
song
That's right. That's right.
because that was,
Well, there you go.
that was to goad you. That was.
That's
But
so funny.
that was a lovely too, and a really lovely conversation.
Dude,
I know
awesome.
you've got to go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I won't keep. But honestly, thank you so much.
Thank you, man. This
It
was
was
lovely.
brilliant. No, it was honestly, and I will ask, as I ask with everybody, would you ever want to come back, maybe in a couple of seasons'
Yeah,
time or anything like that?
absolutely.
Honestly, Daniel, it has been absolutely lovely speaking to you.
Same, man.
I
Sure.
hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Yeah.
And I'll catch you in a bit, all right?
Awesome, man.
Bye
Nice
bye,
talking to you.
man. Lovely speaking to you. See you in a bit, all right? Bye
All
bye.
right.